The sun was just beginning to dip below the horizon when Alex Reyes pulled into the driveway of the house he grew up in. The same cracked stone path, the same ivy climbing up the front porch column, the same wind chimes his mom had always said were too loud. After 6 years overseas, working on a confidential tech project, he'd dreamed of this moment. Home, familiar, safe. He stepped out of the car, suitcase in hand, and took a deep breath. The scent of summer grass and magnolia filled his lungs. He smiled to himself, his fingers twitching slightly from nerves and excitement. The porch light clicked on automatically, just like it always had when motion was detected after dusk. That, at least, hadn't changed. He rang the doorbell. Footsteps approached from inside. A woman opened the door halfway, peeking through the crack. Her eyes widened, not in recognition, but in suspicion. "Can I help you?" she asked, voice cautious. Alex blinked. "Mom? It's me. It's Alex." Her face shifted immediately, tightening into fear. "Who are you? What are you talking about? You need to leave right now." "What?" Alex laughed nervously. "Mom, it's me, Alex, your son. I just got back from Zurich, remember? I sent letters, emails. I even called last month. I don't have a son named Alex," she said, louder now. "I don't know who you are, and you need to get off my property." His father appeared behind her, equally tense. "We've already called the cops. If you don't leave, you're going to be arrested." Alex's heart began to pound. This had to be some kind of prank or elaborate misunderstanding. He stepped back, raising his hands.
"Oh.
This isn't funny. I know this house better than I know my own heartbeat. The attic has the loose floorboard where I hid my comics. The basement light flickers twice when you turn it on. You used to make chili every Sunday night. How can you say you don't know me?" His mother looked visibly shaken now, clutching her husband's arm. "We bought this house from a childless couple 5 years ago," she said. "We've never had children. You're delusional or dangerous. Just leave." Red and blue lights painted the driveway before he could say another word. A police cruiser pulled up fast, tires screeching slightly. 2 officers stepped out, hands already near their belts. One officer approached him. "Sir, we got a call about a possible squatter threatening homeowners." "Step away from the porch." "I'm not a squatter," Alex said, trying to keep calm. "This is my house. My parents live here, or used to live here. Something's wrong? I can prove it. Identification." He handed them his ID. It listed the exact address of the house as his residence. One officer raised an eyebrow. "This ID says you live here," he said. "But the homeowners are saying otherwise." "Check the property records," Alex insisted. "I grew up here. My name is on the deed, or at least was. My parents are. They say they don't know you." "Sir," the second officer interrupted, "and they're willing to press charges? Trespassing. Possible attempted break-in." His voice cracked. "That's not possible." They cuffed him anyway, reading him his rights as he stood in disbelief. His own mother, watched from the doorway, cold and unfamiliar. She didn't flinch when he looked at her, pleading silently for something, anything real to hold on to. In the back of the cruiser, Alex's mind spun. He remembered birthdays in that kitchen, snowball fights in the yard, the smell of his dad's cigars on the back porch. But now, all of it seemed like it had been erased, rewritten, or worse, placed. As the cruiser pulled away, the only thing he could think was, if that's not my home, then where the hell did I come from? The holding cell smelled like bleach and sweat, a sterile contradiction to the chaos unraveling in Alex's mind. He sat on the edge of a thin cot, hands clasped tightly, eyes locked on the floor. Every second that ticked by only deepened the surreal fog surrounding him. His parents, his own flesh and blood, had not only disowned him, but acted like he'd never existed. And now he was being held as a trespasser in what had always been his home. A buzz from the intercom broke the silence. "Reyes. Processing." Alex stood slowly, his muscles stiff with tension. A guard led him down a long corridor and into an administrative room with dull lighting and fingerprint scanners lining the walls. A female officer sat behind a reinforced glass window, motioning for him to place his hand on the scanner. "We've confirmed your ID matches federal records," she said without looking up. "But the property ownership is under Clark and Evelyn Reyes. No mention of a child named Alex Reyes in the registration documents or in their medical records." "I'm telling you, I am their son," Alex snapped.
We'll run a DNA test if you...
"Have to. I have nothing to hide." She finally looked at him, her brow furrowing. "That's an unusual request, but not unheard of. We'll request a quick sample test, but it could take a day. In the meantime, you're being held for psychological evaluation under state policy for disputed identity cases." "Disputed identity cases?" Alex echoed. "What is that even supposed to mean?" The officer hesitated before answering. "There been a rise in incidents where individuals claim relationships or lives that don't exist in any public or digital record.
Ow.
Sometimes it's trauma. Other times, tech-related memory disruptions. Very rarely, something else." Alex's skin prickled. "What's something else?" She didn't reply. They gave him a bunk in a cleaner room while the DNA results were processed. That night, he stared at the ceiling, replaying everything. The porch light flicking on, the look in his mother's eyes, the static in his father's voice. These weren't just people pretending. They believed he didn't exist. Either they were lying, or something had gone terribly wrong. The next day, a man in a gray suit and black-rimmed glasses introduced himself as Dr. Calvin Voss, a government-affiliated psychiatrist specializing in memory and cognition disorders. "Alex," he said calmly, flipping through a digital tablet. "Your ID matches official records. Your fingerprints are in the National Security Database. And here's the kicker, your DNA does confirm you're genetically related to Clark and Evelyn Reyes." Alex felt a pulse of relief, but it quickly faded. "So then I'm not crazy," he said. "They're my parents, not some intruder." Dr. Voss held up a finger. "Biologically, yes. But their DNA tests show no record of a child born to them. None, and their memories are consistent with that." "That's impossible," Alex whispered. "Maybe," Voss said, leaning in slightly. "Or maybe there's a deeper malfunction. Memory identity disorders are evolving. We're seeing cases where people have full histories, backed by ID and even biometrics. But the world around them, friends, family, digital logs, remembers nothing. You're not the first." Alex's mind reeled. "So what are you saying? That I made up my life and someone fabricated my entire identity?" "No," Voss said carefully. "I'm saying it's possible your memories are real to you. But the systems that validate reality memory, records, digital traces don't confirm them." Alex's voice dropped to a whisper. "Then how do you explain my DNA?" Voss hesitated. "That's what makes you unique." Later, when Alex was returned to his room, he pulled out his personal tablet from the evidence locker and began digging. The more he searched, the more inconsistencies he found. His emails to his parents were undelivered. His digital photo archive showed blank faces where family portraits should have been. His social media accounts were empty, wiped clean. But one thing wasn't. An encrypted message had appeared in his inbox just an hour ago. It read, "If you remember them, then you're the anomaly. Meet me, midnight, roof of West Arcology Lab. Don't trust anyone." Alex stared at the message. He wasn't alone. The wind was sharp and electric atop the West Arcology Lab, a towering glass monolith overlooking the city like a cold sentinel. Midnight cloaked the skyline in artificial darkness, neon veins pulsing. Through the urban sprawl below, Alex stood alone on the rooftop, hoodie drawn tight against the chill. Every nerve in his body tight with anticipation and fear. He didn't know who had sent the message, but it was the first real thread in a tapestry of confusion and contradiction. He had no other leads, no other allies, no one who believed him. A small access door behind him creaked open. He spun around instinctively, fists clenched. A figure stepped into the light, female, lean, draped in a dark coat, with a messy shock of green hair and a face he hadn't seen in years. "Mira?" he asked, stunned. She smirked. "Hey, ghost boy," Still brooding and dramatic, I see. He didn't know whether to hug her or interrogate her. Myra had been his roommate and closest friend during university, a hacker prodigy who'd vanished into the underground when the corporate surveillance state began locking down on digital dissent. I did, she said, on purpose, but I kept tabs on you. And when I saw your name flagged in a federal identity breach report, I knew they'd gotten to you. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she tossed him a small drive. Plug that into your tablet. Alex hesitated, then obeyed. His screen flickered, then revealed layers of encrypted data unraveling into readable files. Project EchoMind, replication protocols, identity sync error logs. His throat tightened. What am I looking at? She said simply. Or rather, the version of you that wasn't supposed to come back. Myra explained while pacing. Project EchoMind was a black-budget initiative hidden under the cover of quantum research. Its goal? To digitize human consciousness and create synthetic replicas. Perfect. Copies of mind strained for deep space colonization, infiltration, continuity after death. You volunteered, she said. Alex was silent for a long time. Then he asked, "Can we stop it?" Mira nodded once. "Maybe, but we need access to the original node where you were copied, the system core. The only place that exists now is inside the lab that created you." She pointed down to the floor beneath their feet. "Welcome back to West Arcology. Time to break into the place where you were born." Alex hadn't stepped foot in the West Arcology lab since before the replication. Project began before his life fractured into two versions of itself. Every corridor felt like a memory he wasn't supposed to have, a dream replaying through. Unfamiliar walls. The building's architecture hadn't changed. Sleek chrome floors, seamless black panels, soft blue overhead lighting, but security had tripled. Biometric locks on every floor, automated surveillance drones, thermal scanners. Mira moved ahead of him, silent and focused. She was tapping rapidly on a portable terminal linked into the lab's old maintenance network, rerouting cameras and disrupting facial recognition systems. She looked calm, almost bored, but Alex knew better. She was burning through years of favor and secrecy to be here. "I've looped the north stairwell," she whispered. "We have 7 minutes to reach sublevel 4. After that, every sensor will reset." "Sublevel 4, Alex repeated. "That's where Eli is." Mira gave him a sideways glance. "Still talking to that creepy house AI? He's not creepy? He's consistent." Back at his family's home, Letha AI assistant Alex had built as a teen had been the only thing that remembered him without error. Eli had confirmed his identity, his routines, and even his recorded biometric signatures from childhood. It was Eli who had shown him archived footage of someone who looked exactly like him living in the house, embraced by his parents, weeks before Alex himself returned. 2 versions of the same person, and only one accepted. Now, inside the lab where it all began, Alex felt the weight of that truth settle deeper into his bones. They reached the entrance to the EchoMind core chamber. The thick metal door was unmarked, cold to the touch. Myra attached a bypass clamp and began decoding the lock. Sparks flared. Gears shifted. 4 years ago, she said, keeping her voice low. They moved the consciousness archive to an isolated vault, off-grid, but I found fragment snapshots. The transfer logs mention a secondary node that was supposed to be deleted. It wasn't. That's what I'm betting on. The door clicked open. Inside was a sterile white chamber, circular and empty, but for a single glowing pedestal in the center. Above it hovered a low hum, like electricity waiting to be spoken to. Alex approached slowly. His hands trembled as he reached for the console. It recognized him. Lights flickered. Eli's voice emerged calm, robotic, but unmistakably familiar. "Welcome. Alex Reyes. Query recognized. Replication event data." "Eli," Alex said, heart pounding. "Do you know what I am?" The AI paused. You are a derivative entity. Initiated from base consciousness ID, Reyes Say 1. Timestamp divergence occurred 4.17 years ago. Due to quantum drift and local redundancy conflict, you are considered Echo Alex. Why wasn't I erased? Deletion. Protocol was interrupted. Primary copy returned early. System assumed redundancy itself. Mira muttered under her breath. Someone in the system wanted you to survive, or they messed up bad. Alex's fingers hovered over the control. Can I overwrite him? Reclaim my identity. The AI processed for several seconds. Negative. This Alex has achieved social anchor depth and legal integration. Any overwrite would destabilize familial and societal nodes. Alex felt sick. Then what happens to me? Echo units not integrated are marked for deletion, Eli said. Purge scheduled. T-minus 26 hours. Alex backed away from the console, his mind spinning. He had less than a day before the system would erase him. It's not just digitally dash permanently, but then something unexpected happened. Another voice filled the room. His own voice. Stop, it said. From the shadows stepped someone identical to him. Same face, same posture, same haunted eyes. The original Alex, base Alex, looking equally terrified. I know who you are, the original said. Because I saw the same footage you did. I remember being both of us. I came to stop this, the original said. Because if they're going to erase someone, it shouldn't be you. Alex stared at himself. For the first time, he understood. He wasn't the only one haunted by being forgotten now. The question wasn't who was real. It was whether both of them had the right to exist. The two Alexes stood across from each other in the sterile glow of the Echo Mind core chamber. Identical in every way except for one thing: one had a life that was accepted, remembered, and documented. The other had become a ghost. It's an error too inconvenient for the world to acknowledge. Mira circled them slowly, her expression tense. This is not a stable situation. You're both anomalies now. If the system detects you in the same proximity for too long, it'll trigger the failsafe. That means instant wipe mind and body. Guilt hanging on his face like fog. I didn't know about you until 2 days ago, the original said. Then I accessed Eli's legacy storage, found the logs, the duplicate anomaly alert. I saw the surveillance footage. You coming home, getting arrested, everything? And I remembered. Alex blinked. You remembered me. I remembered. Being you, he said. Before my transfer. Before they rewrote the last 6 years to anchor me in this timeline. They stripped out all memory of divergence, but something slipped through. I saw your face, and it hit me like déjà vu with a pulse, Mira interrupted, voice sharp. Romantic, but none of that matters if you both get wiped in a system purge. Alex stepped forward. So what do? One of us gets deleted so the timeline doesn't collapse. We flip a coin to see who gets to keep the life. The original Alex looked away. No. We do something neither of us is supposed to do, he turned to Mira and pointed to the console. Can you give us root access to the replication index? Mira froze. That's a big ask. If we merge, he said, we might be able to stabilize the quantum identity conflict. Turn the two of us into one, a hybrid entity with integrated memories, emotional cohesion, and singular legal standing. That would trick the system into seeing us as a corrected version of the original. You want to fuse consciousnesses? Wind up brain dead, or worse, create a third entity even less stable. Alex nodded. It's better than getting erased. Echo Alex hesitated, his mind a storm of thoughts. He'd fought to survive, to prove he was real. Now he was being asked to dissolve himself into a composite. It's no longer one man, no longer two, just an echo of both. But what was the alternative? He looked at the original again to himself, the same tired eyes, the same fractured sense of identity. Different lives, same origin. I won't fight you, the original said. I'll only do this if you choose it. The purge goes ahead in less than 24 hours. One of us dies either way. Silence settled like a sheet of glass over the room. Then Echo Alex stepped toward the core. Do it. Mira didn't ask again. We're set to work, her fingers flying over the controls, triggering the override commands and unlocking neural sync modules that hadn't been touched in years. The chamber darkened, then pulsed red. The floor trembled. Two biometric signatures identical but temporarily offset were locked in place by the AI. Eli's voice returned. Synchronization initiated. Fusion integrity 71% and stabilizing. Warning. Identity conflict detected. Proceed. Proceed, both Alexes said in unison. Light flooded the room. For a moment, there was nothing but sound, roaring, like wind through time. Thoughts collided, memories stitched together. Tears, birthdays, betrayals, empty rooms, long silences, love, fear, solitude. Not one life. Not to something new. When it was over, only one Alex stood, breathless and shaking. Mira stared at him. Which one are you? He looked up, a strange calm in his eyes. I think I'm both. Outside, the city kept pulsing with light and motion. The system had no alerts. No anomaly flagged. No squatter, no ghost. Just one Alex Reyes recorded, remembered, and finally whole.